Welcome to another episode of Bourbon Booze. We have a special whiskey to present to you today. Andy's not here, so Cody's going to step in. And we're on opposite sides. Usually he's here, I'm up there. But because we're doing whiskey, we switch it up.
This is the review arrangement.
The review arrangement. So we do have a couple special whiskeys. This is a twofer episode. And hopefully you like it. If you do, and you like all the other stuff we do Monday through Friday at noon, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to us. So we had a distillery contact us and want to send us a couple samples of what they had. I think it's a distillery that's somewhat new, not too new, but somewhat new. And unfortunately, they're in Illinois, and their products are only available in Illinois. So everybody else here in Texas and throughout the U.S. and the world, you can't get it. I don't know if they can mail order it. I'm not sure about the rules about Illinois and alcohol ordering. I know here in Texas we cannot order it, unfortunately. Hopefully those rules change soon. But I'm excited to bring these to you. I do want to warn you though, this is not a sponsored video. We are not being sponsored by them in any way. They just sent us a couple samples to give a try. And that is from the J.K. Williams Distillery in Peoria, Illinois. So one of these days, that's usually somewhat close proximity to some of my travels in the whiskey country. So maybe one of these days we can actually visit them. They do have a couple different whiskeys than what they sent us, as well as some vodkas. So they sent us a straight bourbon and a wheated American whiskey. We have the Bridge series, and maybe that's because Peoria, you guys could tell us, has a bunch of bridges across a river. But this is the Bridge series American wheat. It's a small batch. The proof is 47% or 94 proof. No age statement on the wheated whiskey. And it's $55.99 for a 750. Again, only available in Illinois. And so let's go ahead and try this out. I haven't even opened these. I'll give it to the... I'll work on this other one. Possibly. I'm usually one that has to do a knife. Go ahead and pour us a couple. It was really nice that they contacted us and decided to send us a couple. They'd seen our videos. We are getting really close to some milestones in viewers, or viewership, not viewership, views. I mean, we're getting really close to some pretty big numbers on views, and our sub list is increasing too. Okay, so this is the wheated.
That smells good from this distance.
Mm-hmm. Hints of mint. Honey. Maybe maple.
I get like honey pastries from a distance.
Yes, yes. So some baked goods, honey, and that's because it's a wheated.
Mm-hmm.
Some maple or molasses.
Berry. Yeah,
a little bit of kind of a vine fruit. It's got just the hints of a rye, a spiciness of a rye. It smells really good.
It smells really good. Very light.
Very light. Yeah, it's got a nice color, nice legs to it.
It smells like a dessert pastry, but I can't.
Okay, before I get much further in this, I should probably write this stuff down, because sometimes I forget, and we always have a scroll down there, and then it's... You smell an armpit? I didn't get that. So we got some mint, honey, some berry type fruit, molasses, a little bit of rye and baked goods. getting a little kind of hints of the, I don't know, a trademark American whiskey of leather and tobacco. Just little bits.
Subtle.
Yeah, very subtle. But I love this aroma. I'm going to put this at a 4 on aroma. I think this is spectacular.
Yeah.
And of course, at $55.99, it's a 1 barrel on price.
Unfortunately, I have a bad habit where my nose goes sensory blind fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So it's already starting to fade, but no alcohol bite at all. Like, not unless you're like stiffing your nose on it.
Oh, wow. It's got a little bit of a lingering kick on the back end, but not up front. But
Yeah,
there's a mintiness on the back end.
It's hard to tell if that's like, this is weeded whiskey. It's hard to tell if it's the rye aspect or the alcohol, but I think it's probably more the alcohol, and it's probably more like a medium.
There's probably some rye in the mash bill. It's got a little bit of that rye-esque spicy pepper notes to it.
Fairly good.
Very silky, smooth.
Yeah. But that bite does...
It's lingering.
It's very light, nothing major, but it is there. It's not one that just disappears very quickly. So I would say it's a medium bite, so a 3.
A 3 on bite. What do you think about the flavor, though?
It's kind of complex.
It is very complex. Like I say, you're getting that mint, that rye, that silky smoothness. A crisp clean. I mean, it's not a warming, it's more of a cooling to me.
Yeah, I would say cooling.
A little bit of that kind of earthiness as well, which is probably the wheat. I would say the flavor is at least a 3.5. I actually really like this.
I do too. This is really good.
It's unfortunate it's not available in our area.
Yeah, you go all over the place, you'll get it eventually.
Yeah. Well, and eventually, I'd say within the next few years, you could buy anything.
The darker tones.
Yeah, it's definitely given more of the tobacco and leather.
And the woody. Wow.
Water actually improves, a couple drops of water improves this aroma. I mean, I think it's a 4, but the water drops edges it close to a 4.5.
Does about the same with the flavor. Brings out the more bitter, woody, leathery, darker tone.
Takes away some of the rye or the spiciness. Of course, you know, it's
or
also
the alcohol bite, but we've also been drinking it. So the bite doesn't like linger very long. Still there. But
I'm going to put this at a 4 on flavor.
I'd
Okay.
go with that. It could just be because we hardly ever have weeded, and we always love our
True.
weeded.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of weeded.
So they always stand
compared
out.
to everything else. I mean, we have hundreds of scotches and bourbons and ryes.
But very, like...
I mean, we probably have about 20 weeded, but...
it seems like less unless it's not... Ones that specifically say weeded.
Yeah.
I know of maybe like 3 or 4, and I know I'm missing a couple. But not very many.
No.
And it's far and few between, and always like it. I like weeded.
So the total on this is going to be a 12. That's a solid 3. I think we're going to boost it up a little bit to 3.5. I think that...
How much is it for $7.50?
Almost $60, 55. So it's a 3.5. I think really, in reality, it's a 4. But we're going to go ahead and say it's a 3.5.
Well, it is also still $60, which...
Yeah.
I still agree with the rating of tempering the rating by its price because it gives you perspective on its overall qualities.
Yeah.
You could have something that's...
If this was in the $30 range, this would be an everyday drink.
40.
Yeah, this would be an everyday drink after work type of thing. This is spectacular.
Yeah.
But once you get over 50, then it becomes more of a a special type of.
Harder to justify to yourself.
Yeah.
This is like an all-around drink, though. You could have this with dinner, after dinner.
It is spectacular. I like it.
I mean, like, it's got enough range on its flavor profile to be.
Yeah, I think this would pair well with like a chicken or pork, and even a red meat.
Yeah.
Dinner, a heavy
with
meat
its
dinner.
pastry aroma on the first, it's great for a dessert drink. It's
Oh yeah.
still got enough heft and meat on it for a pre-drink or with dinner drink. Like, it's just.
So they also sent us another one called the Gold Zephyr. It's a straight bourbon, aged 4 years. It's 45% or 90 proof. And its cost is right at $49.99. So this one is a traditional bourbon. Get the remnants of that plastic.
Didn't get all yours off?
No.
Has a nice color.
It does. Has a very nice color. Like I say, aged 4 years in Peoria, Illinois. So a little bit colder climb. So it's not going to be as dark as the stuff we have here in Texas. But it's a really nice color. This is a straight bourbon. Oh, wow. Really nice minty, bourbon-esque. I mean, you're getting all the notes of chocolate, tobacco, and leather, as well as some mint and molasses and oak.
Sweet, kind of fruity smell, but not berries.
I think the sweetness you're getting is probably from the corn. So to be a bourbon, it's got to be at least 51% corn. It's probably a little bit higher. But it is pleasant. So I think it's really good. You know, the tobacco.
It's a little less variation to me. Like, it's
not as
more
complex.
Of a single aroma type. But it does come out with more, like, it's subtler.
I'm getting hints of honey. Just bare hints, kind of like the mint. I'm gonna put, now again, this is a 1 barrel on cost because of its price at $50. So it's just $5 cheaper than the other one. Aroma, I'm gonna say this is about a 3.5. I think this is a really decent bourbon.
It's not as, on the aroma at least, it's not as dark as some bourbons.
Right, it's not as overpowering
it's
as
like
Kentucky bourbons.
Bitter and harsh. Because when you get a bourbon, for me, that's why I like getting a bourbon. A harsh bourbon. That's why I get bourbon.
For the smoked whiskeys and the, something a little bit more.
Not always. Yeah, like when you drink it and you're like, oh, that's kind of harsh tasting just on the flavor, not even the alcohol. And it's like, that's the point for me. Sometimes it's nice. This one's a lot more mellow, lighter. The smell is good. Just less complex, more of a single note to it. To me.
Yeah, it's very
subtle undertone.
Very silky smooth, simple on the flavor, not really complex, but it's also not spicy. There's no real heat to it for being 90 proof. Not a lot of lingering to it. It's very smooth.
It is a very smooth bourbon.
It is very smooth.
But you get the bourbon undertones for sure. Is it tannins that are the bitterness in bourbon? You get the bitter tannins in like the aftertaste and the undertones, but at first it's like the aroma.
So a little lingering on the bite?
It's a little lingering.
Now, my water's way over there.
It's a less bite, more of a numb.
Yeah,
so
my water's way over there, so I can't really refresh from this. But
it is also right after we had another drink.
Yeah.
But it does definitely already feel different per sip than Maybe a 3.5.
Very smooth.
Medium to mild.
This would definitely be an everyday bourbon for me. Again, I wish it was a little bit cheaper and available here. But the Gold Zephyr straight bourbon whiskey is...
Especially when you don't want a very harsh bourbon.
Yes.
This would be great for that because it's like subtle. It's a subtle bourbon. This might be a great introductory bourbon.
Yeah.
Because it's got the bourbon flavor. Mm-hmm. But it's still slightly sweet, nothing overpowering. It's just nice, smooth, and mellow. But still with some, like as you keep drinking it, you keep picking out light hints of other things. Yeah,
I'm still getting like almost an apricot to it.
Yeah, that's probably what I was getting on the fruity smell.
Yeah. So I gave it 3.5 straight across the board. So that's going to make it an 11.5 total. I don't think it's a 3. I'm not sure it's a 3.5. I think it's a solid 3. The weeded it to me is a lot better.
Yeah, it is probably a solid 3. And with us, a solid 3 is get it if you can.
Yeah.
It's not like 3 stars to where it's no.
Well, and it's our motto as we end every show is there's no bad whiskey, there's only good whiskey and great whiskey, and this is really good whiskey.
Well, in my opinion, if it's 3 though, it's
still worth picking up. Even there's some 2.5s.
Some 2s.
There's 2.5s and some 2s out there that are worth picking up, but
I think it's point out our barrels aren't just aggregated stars.
Right.
When you go shopping for things that are rated by stars, you want all 5 star. If it's a 3-star, you're like,
and we rate on a 5 scale, so 2.5 is halfway. It's the average. Yeah. So a 3 and better is, something to get. So I really like this. There was a third one on their webpage, or possibly a fourth one. I can't remember. I would like to see about that. So I might have to think about some ways of getting full bottles of this. I have
in Illinois?
Yeah, head to Illinois. I have some friends up that way too, so we'll have to see. But yes, this was...
You're going to have to get both of these because these are delicious.
Yeah. I'm sure that you can get them in Chicago, but I don't know. There's a series of liquor stores.
Smell it now. Something different came out for me.
I didn't even try this with water yet. Did I?
Neither have I. But it's an all in all, just a...
Yeah.
This would be an everyday drinking kind of bourbon. A little less versatile as to the weeded whiskey to me. But again...
Water is making it much more Kentucky bourbon-esque.
Bringing out the tannins.
Yeah. Bringing out the leather and tobacco.
I can see that, yep. So over ice, this would probably start to get darker, like
and
bitterer.
It's got enough mintiness to it, too, that it would probably be really good in a mint julep, adding some fresh mint and stuff.
Yeah, or a smoked old-fashioned.
Again, we're not being sponsored by them in no way. I made it clear when they sent us that we would do a fair and honest review, and if we didn't like it, we would say so. But these are really...
These are good. They're different from what we've had recently, for sure.
I definitely urge you, if you can get the Bridge Series wheat, give it a try. It's really good. I mean, the better of the two. I think the... Gold Zephyr is definitely worth as an everyday drink.
Well, the aroma just starts coming out.
Mm-hmm. It's a really good non-Kentucky bourbon. I like them both. So obviously, tell us what you think in the comments below. Let us know about any other regional whiskeys that we should investigate and try to get our hands on. We do travel quite extensively throughout the year, both here in the U.S. but also in Europe. So let us know, and we'll try to accommodate your request and pick some stuff up. We do have a member headed to the UK here in 2 weeks, and so we can definitely, if you let us know in the comments, try to have her pick some stuff up. And then of course I head to the UK for the summer.
And the more obscure the better.
Yes, but don't make it difficult to find. I mean,
yeah, just obscure, you know.
And then you and I are traveling to Hawaii later this year, and I'll be doing a Mexico run. So, like I say, we travel extensively. Let us know what we should be looking at and getting. We always like to find some craft regional stuff. The mainstream stuff is great, but we're more interested in the smaller craft stuff. So let us know. Check out Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and merchandise, as well as TikTok. If you're in Illinois, check out J.K. Williams. Tell them Bourbon and Booze sent you, and we thought that they have a great product, and tell them thanks for sending us some stuff. Again, we're not sponsored by them. We would be honest with you, if this was not worth it, it's definitely worth it.
It's definitely worth it.
Remember, there's no bad whiskey. There's only good whiskey and great whiskey.
And this is great whiskey.
This is great whiskey. Cheers, and thanks for joining us for this special episode.
The bourbon's just growing on me more and more.